Hello all. In this lecture we will see about OS module. So this module helps to interact with the underlying OS. So if you want to get some files, or if you want to create a directory, or if you want to delete a directory, or if you want to rename some directory or rename some files inside the system, that is inside whatever you do in the system. For example, I'll go into a file. So if you take this Explorer, so this is something. So if you want to create a folder, so what you do, you will right click and you can create a folder here. If you want to rename this, you can right click and rename this. So all these functionalities can be done by the Python also. By writing some lines of code, you can do all this. You create new directory, or if you want to delete something files and all, you can do that by writing some commands or some code. So we'll see how to do those things using Python. So for that, what you have to do is you have to import OS module. Okay, so you have to import this OS module. Now you can see this OS module. You can simply check what all files are there. If you give all these the different functions or the methods that are in the OS directory, you can do all these things: about, access, change, chivr, change mode, close. All these things are there. So these are the different more methods inside this OS module. So you can use all these methods to do all the OS manipulations. So we'll see how to do. If you want to check the current working directory, you can simply get os dot get current working directory. So this is a method to get the current working directory. Get CWD gives a current working directory. So if you run this, so this is the current working directory. C users /Ajay. So this is the current working directory of this thing. You can also use this included the print statement also. Print. You can print this also. You can, if you print this, you can get the actual directory. So this is a directory which I am working at present. Now, if you want to change the directory, so if you want to change the directory, then you can use this chdir. So this is the change directory method. So if you want to change it to some other location, you can simply change it. So for example, if I want to change it to maybe, so if I want to change it to some other location, so I want to change it to this desktop. So I'm changing the current working directory to desktop. You can run this. Okay, it will return, since you have to use this raw data. Since you are using Windows, you have to use this R. Then you will get this thing. Now if you want, you can check the current working directory also. Now if you check this, you can see that it is now changed to desktop. Now it has changed things to desktop. Now if you want to list all the directories, so if you want to list all the directories in this folder in this desktop, you can use os.listdir. So os.listdir, that method will list all the directory inside this. So if you run this, you can see these are the directories. So these are the directories that are present, or the files. So these are the directories and files that are present in my desktop. So there are a lot of files and folders in my desktop. Okay, so that's how to use this. Now I'll change the location again. So I'll change the location to again back to the old one. I will use csc.ajay. Okay, so instead of desktop, I will go for Ajay itself. Okay, now I change the directory. So if I list the files, I can list the files. I can list it using this list directory. Alt enter. So you'll get files and folders in this thing. So that's all about our list directory. Now how to create a new folder. So if I want to create a new folder inside this Ajay. So inside this Ajay folder, I want to create a new folder. So there are two methods to create a folder. So first method is os.mkdir. So make directory, and if you want to create some new folder, you can name anything. I'm using a new name called new. So this is my new folder, and if you run this, a new folder will be created. You can list this thing. So you can list this thing, then you can find that a new folder has been created. So new folder has been created, or you can browse that thing. So if you browse that thing also, you can get that thing. So if you browse this, you can see that a new folder has been created here. This is an empty folder. There is no file in it. So this is the Ajay folder, and inside this we have created a new folder. Okay. Now we'll go back. So now we will go back to that. Now we have created a folder. Just a minute. Okay. Now we have created a folder. So this is one way to create a folder. So if you want to create a directory to levels of depth. So if you want to create a folder inside another folder and inside another there is another folder, you can use make directories, make dirs. So if you want to create a folder to a particular depth, so if you want a single folder also, it is possible to create a single folder also. So you can give a new one. So this is also possible. So if you list this, another folder will be created. So you can see that new one is also created in this directory. So if you want to create to some depth, then also you can use that same thing. So if you want to create inside this thing, if you want to create another one new, another inside that, if you want to create another new like that, if you want to create, you can use this command. Let me check it. So this way you can create. So you have to use this R, otherwise it will return an error. So if you do like this, the problem is there is /n, so it will mistakenly take us a new line. So what you have to do is you have to include R to make this as raw data. Then if you run this, you can see that just a minute. Since there is a folder already, I've created this folder. Now I will create a new folder. So if I create this thing, you can see that it has created, and if you want, you can list this directory also. I will open the other folder. Just a minute. So I have created new 1, new 2, and if you check new 2, there is an underneath this there is one new one. Like this, we have created in different levels. And also similarly, new 3 also is created. New like this, we have created up to certain depth. So if you want to create into a certain depth, you can use this make dirs. Okay. So next, we will see how to remove directory. So for removing a particular directory, we can remove using rmdir. Remove directory using rmdir, and you can give the file name, the folder name. So I have already created a new folder, so I can remove this file. New, there is one new folder there. I can remove that using this thing, rmdir. Now if you use this directory method, if you use this list directory, now you can see that new is gone. Only new 1, new 2, and new 3 is there. Now if you want to remove this new 2, we will use rmdir, and if you run that, it will return an error because the directory is not empty, because inside new 2 we have other directories also. So in order to remove different levels of directory, then you have to use another method called remove dirs, remove directories, and you have to specify the whole part. So if you want to remove the whole thing, then you have to mention like this, and if you enter this, everything will be removed. Now if you want, we will check that thing. So new 3 has been removed. New 3 and all the subdirectories inside that new 3 has been removed by this command. Okay. So that is how to remove directories using remove directory. So up to certain depth, if you want to remove, you can use this remove directory. The remove directories, you can list this also. You can find out whether it is gone or not. Alt enter. You can see that new 3 is gone. Only new 1 and new 2 is remaining. Then if you want to rename some files or some directory, you can use the rename method. So we have a file name called ajay.txt. If you want to rename that, so for that you can use rename. First what you have to do is you have to give the old name first. So ajay.txt is the old name. Okay. Now comma, and you have to give a new name for the new file. So if you want to name it as new.txt, you can do this. Now you can list it again. If you list this, you can see that the name has been changed to new.txt. That ajay.txt is missing now. So it has changed to new.txt. Similarly, you can rename folders also. If you want to rename the folder also, it is possible to rename the folder using the same method, rename. So you have to use os.rename. Next is how get the information about some files if you want to get the information. So I'll rename it back. To new Ajay itself. So I'll rename it back. So I have renamed it back to ajay.txt. So if you want to get some information about those files, then you can use stat method or stat. So you'll get the information about those files. So if I want to get the information of ajay.txt, you can simply enter like this, and you will get the result, some of the information about that file. So some of the information will be useful in future. For example, if you want to see the size of the thing, so this is the size. So you can simply use dot. If you want only the size, then you can use this variable. So if you want to find only the size, so you'll get it's 10 bytes. So if you want only the size, And if you want the time, so this is some empty is there, this is some modification time, like that there are different times. So if you want to get the useful time information, so this is in different format. So if you want to make it in useful format, then you can use this another package, date time import date time. From then I'll use modification underscore time equal to os.stat. That say I'll use this thing. Instead of that st, I will use modification time as variable is this thing. Okay. So I have stored it in that. I am converting that into a useful format. Date time dot from timestamp. So this is a method from timestamp more underscore time. Now you will get the exact time. So this is exact time. So this is now useful time. This is date. Everything is there. So this is the right last modification time of that file. Now if you want to traverse to all directories, you can use the os.walk method is there. os.walk method is there to traverse through all the directories and all. So you have to write it inside a code so that you will, for example, I'll write inside for loop for directory path, comma, directory path, directory names, comma, file names in os.walk. There is a method called os.walk. Now you can print directory path, like that. You can print all those things. Control. You can print the directory names, then you can print the file names. Everything can be printed. Now you have to use directory also, in from which directory you want to print. So I will take the desktop directory. So this is the desktop directory. You have to mention which path walk you have to do, which thing you have to do. So you have to include this thing also. Now if you run this thing, you will get the whole thing. So inside that desktop, what all things are there, so which all folders are there, and inside each folder what all files are there. So everything can be walked through. So inside this attachments, you have all these files. You have these three files, and inside attachments 1 you have these 2 files. Like that, attachments 2 you have 2 files. Then another folder. Like this, you can get different folders. So this is to walk through all the files and folders. So I've got through this desktop. So for that, you can use this os.walk method. So these are some of the useful OS modules. Then you have a base name, directory name. If you want to check whether it is a directory, you have is directory function. Then if you want to check whether it's a file, you can have is file and all function is there. So these are some of the more important OS modules that you'll be using. That's all. Thank you.